legally we have to do that, obviously. So I'll wait for YouTube to pull up and decide what it's going to do, and kind of go from there. Anybody have anything special or amazing for dinner? Oh, that's it, huh? That was the lovely.
Aquafina.
Well, that's something. At least you're healthy, healthy. Okay, guys. Well, welcome everyone to the Super Easy Beginners class. As you guys know, my name is Jennifer Baker, and I am a coach inside of Super Easy. Let's see. Just quick disclaimer that everything we discuss on this call or in any calls on any YouTube videos or in any class or chat or forum is basically educational advice only. So please do not trade what you cannot afford to lose. Don't take a trade if your account can't hold the drawdown. Don't take multiple trades if you can't hold all of them. And obviously none of this is legal advice. So there's your fancy dancy risk disclaimer, kind of keeping me safe and you safe to realize that this is still an independent activity and it's super up to you. Every trade you take and how you manage that trade, again, totally an independent sport here. So kind of keep that in mind. As you guys know, that everything I discuss is for educational purposes only, but you also know that one of my biggest strengths is not because I'm the best trader in the planet or I have the best strategies or the tools, but it's just I've gotten really good at following rules and compounding. So taking small amounts of money and basically just growing it to these large amounts of money in pretty quick time. Now with that high risk comes, high reward, but it also comes, big, oopsies and big account blows. So typically, if you're not doing kind of a safe percentage of growth, we recommend just a small amount to compound with in terms of how much you want to put in there. If you're investing more, I would say a much safer strategy is better, or safer percentages of growth is better, per se, maybe is a better way to say it. If you're looking to compound super fast, risk less, and then you won't be so worried about blowing the account. So this is the very simple way of how I do it and what to look for the most. So other than that, we do have a couple of questions. I'm going to stop that. I'm going to go to a new share and hopefully it shares the proper screen. Maybe it will. I'm going to go over there and click on it just to ensure that it does. Go to partial screen and hopefully it gives me some control. Got most of it. That's good. So prior to starting class tonight, I went ahead and asked some questions. This way I wasn't sitting here waiting for everybody to get a little bit less camera shy and able to kind of ask their questions. So we have a good idea of what some people are looking for. So before I go over any pairs or specific things, I'm just simply going to go one by every single person who asked the question. And if you have questions above and beyond this, you can either A, put them in the chat, or as you guys know who are in the Zoom meeting, you know that I'm pretty open. You're more than welcome to come out, speak up, and ask what you want. So starting with James, pretty sure it was, you wanted to take a look at EG, correct?
Yep, that's correct.
Okay, on what time frame?
Well, I started with a daily time frame, and I worked my way all the way down to the hourly time frame.
Okay, on what system? So are you using triple arrows? Are you using simplicity? Are you using easy pips?
Simplicity.
Okay, so let's start with that. If it will let us kind of get over there. Now, while this decides to pull up, I'm going to tell you the truth. I have a habit of going after the hardest to manage thing. And when I was told that EG had the highest value, I made it my mission to perfect this pair. I'm also going to tell you pretty honestly, I failed that mission worse than anything else. So that's my big disclaimer on anything I say about EG. You might want to do the exact opposite because it's not my favorite pair. For some reason, like it's worth a whole bunch, but it consolidates like this and it doesn't move a lot. So it's daily range. It's average daily range of how much it moves per day or per hour per candle. If you're using ATR is really small. So now that I know a little bit more, obviously years later, I see that it all comes out in the wash. But at the time I wanted to perfect the most expensive, most best pair. So now that we've said that, you're looking for it to what? So you're on the daily.
I'm looking for it to drop, and that was my issue with EG. Also, it consolidates so much. So when I saw the setup this morning, everything, all the confluence that I had, I went ahead and jumped in. But okay. I do know that where I jumped in at, I'm going to be in this for a while to just to kind of get any kind of profit out of it. But I just wanted a second look at a second eye or another look to kind of verify where I'm going with it.
Okay, and real quick, what candle did you enter on? What was your entry time or your entry price?
My entry, let me get that for you. My entry was 91896.
9189. Give me a vertical entry. So 91896. 91. What broker are you on?
KOT.
Okay, 896. So somewhere probably on like one of these two candles, either this one or this one.
Yeah.
You entered before the end of the day?
Yes, I entered first thing this morning.
Okay, so somewhere around here, unless you caught the wick. Either way, you entered kind of right before it started consolidating, which has always been my experience with EG. It just, you find the perfect entry, and then it's like, I'm going to stay still for the next month until you decide to get out, and then I'm going to
Yep.
do the right thing. That's how it's always treated me. So, okay, let's take a look. You have obviously your simplicity is saying, yes, you definitely had momentum in terms of a sell. Sellers were in control. You have momentum in terms of the ADX. You've officially made a lower low. We have like kind of this impulse to the top side. This next candle, it invalidates that impulse move once we've now made a lower low. So that impulse, bullish candle is no longer valid. Now we're looking for, sells in theory. So I'm
Okay, hold on,
Jen,
just a second. Let me make a correction. My exact entry, I gave you the wrong number. My exact entry was 92153.
That makes more sense. I was going to say you must be like holding on to that. So let's see if my mouse will stop being magic. 92 what?
153.
92153. So you're in profit.
Yes.
Okay, it's not a bad way to be. 92153. So somewhere on one of these candles.
Right.
I mean, whatever figure spread. I mean, so potentially this candle or this candle, either way. So you're
right. It was roughly around 5 o'clock this morning, Eastern time.
Gotcha. So you're in profit. If it was 5 o'clock this morning Eastern time, it was not here. It was like somewhere back here. But we don't need to be like super, super specific. I don't know if it was this one or this one. Either way, somewhere back here. So either way, now you're in profit. So let's take a look and say, okay, so you're holding it. When do you want to protect the trade, or what is your basic question?
Well, my basic question right now is I'm looking to the left and I see all this. I mean, in simplicity, we have the sell zone and we can go down to the sell zone before we can get out. But when I go to the daily level, it looks good enough to hold it for several days because of what I'm looking to the left. I see all this liquidity to the left.
Okay, so I'm going to go to the day chart. We have this huge impulse move. So if we take 50% of this, right? So let's measure the whole move. Well, I'm not going to go the whole move, but this is about, we'll say 350 pips. So how much is half of that?
175.
Okay. Let this catch up. Okay, so as soon as this decides to listen to me, it's stuck. It's raining, that's why. We've got one of those Florida hurricane rains. So pretty much it means the internet's been wonky all day long. So you are here, you have about 175 pips, in theory. Again, this is, potential of room. So if I were to pick a target, this is the 4-hour time frame. I'm going to zoom out and make it super ugly and say, okay, so we have this huge drop. My first target is going to be somewhere in and around here. Notice how price stopped here and it stopped here. So from where you got in, because you're already in profit, that's, 75-ish pips. My next target, if we broke that zone, would be here. You'll notice price stopped here and it stopped here, it stopped here, it stopped here. It's really simple. You're just like Mark Douglas would say. So I didn't create it. I just learned how to follow it and learned how to see it with my own eyes. So what we're now when we're between the zone, we've made a lower low. You've got kind of a confirmation of where you're going. Now you have to have the patience to hold it down to here. And on a pair like this, that could mean it could just sit like this for a month and just totally upset you. And you have to be prepared to handle that, or trim some profits. That was my experience with this. And I think there's no more huge Brexit things this week, or is there coming up? I haven't traded Forex in a minute. So as long as there's no major Brexit news, you can decide what your options are, such as, are you going to protect it? So now that you're up, are you going to protect some of it, or are you going to trim some of it? So like if you have one standard lot, you can, take off 0.5 of that. If you have 10 standard lots, you can take off 5 of them at any certain point or at each level. So.
Okay. Okay. With the amount of time that it may consolidate, I'll probably just trim it off or cut it off at a certain point. I don't want to hold. I know I may hold it for maybe a week or two, but I don't know if I want to hold it longer than that.
Does the broker you have swap fees?
Yes, they do.
Then it's not worth holding.
Okay.
Well, not to say it's not worth holding, but it would have to be worth holding, paying the swap fees. So like, think about this in terms of like your numbers, right? So every time you hold it overnight and then over certain days and certain like over weekends, it's actually more expensive, and certain days of the week is more expensive. So every time you're paying another fee on that, you're also holding the margin up in your account to take other trades. So if you're going to consistently hold trades, I would definitely go to the pin post. I can drop a link in the Super Easy group, or in any one of these YouTubes is my link for AFX. At least if you're going to be a swing trader or a position trader, somebody who holds it long term, choose a broker that has no swap fees. You're going to pay a bigger spread, but it also means you have the complete freedom to say, I trust my position. I would like to catch this entire 1 month move, and I don't want to worry about it. And that's just a different way to trade.
Okay. That would be great. Thank you.
You're welcome. Hey, Rich says we've got CPI tomorrow for the US. I know that we have FOMC for US dollar, and GBP has CPI or something. So be careful. I mean, protect it, but then of course, let it go in your favor.
Okay.
Okay. Gotcha. Okay. So I'm going to go to the next question real quick. And that was Yusuf. And you're talking about the signals. So Yusuf, can you tell me again your question? I just wrote down one word and that's not going to help me. The signals. So the signals and who's giving them and what system they're using.
Yeah, like what time frame, what system are you using? Because I'll see the signals and it'll say, UJ, go in at this price. And then when I look at the simplicity, because I have the simplicity chart, I don't see on the 15-minute, I don't know if it's the 15, I don't know if it's the hour, I don't see the triple arrows. He's just saying get in and get out at this price. So I don't know what system he's using, and that's what I want to know.
Okay, so you are definitely not. I wish you were the only person. Hold on, I'm going to mute everybody real quick. Hey, Rich, I see your hand. I'll come to you. You can come hang out with me as soon as I answer all these questions, okay? But to answer your question in terms of the signals, here's the deal. I'm going to have a heart-to-heart with Pat. I cannot promise the outcome of the heart-to-heart. Okay, so let's just be super honest about that. Can't do it. It's not my thing. It's not my company. It's not my rules. Mm-hmm. However, just so everybody in here knows, and they know clearly, and it's recorded, the signals, so Elvis does most of the signals. His name is Elvis, and he is a really good trader. His skill set lies mostly in trading. Everything above and beyond and outside of the box of calling a trade, I'm out on that conversation. So his signals are good. His trades are good. However, he's not using simplicity. He's not using Jenny's golden strategy. He's not using anything that I know of personally. So I know for some time he was using mostly an Ichimoku cloud system. And I know that was something to do with a daily time frame and then like a smaller time frame, which again, I don't know the strategy. So I would be wrong to sit here and try to discuss it. And then I believe now from what I hear, which again, I cannot vouch for, he's using something on the lines of structure is what I understand. So what he's using to call the signals, I don't know. Your job when you get the signal is to come to this system, come to Jenny's golden strategy, come to the cloud, come to, your next door neighbors, whatever. It doesn't matter. Whatever one your eye sees best and what you understand or have the most success with, go to that strategy. And if I called you right now on the phone and I said, hey, yo, listen, you got to sell this pair. NAS and everything, they're dropping hard and we want to catch this. Like, we don't want to miss this. Your job is to go to your computer screen and see if it lines up with your rules. So even if I gave you the signal, don't take it until you see it. Now, once you see it, you can take it. And of course, once you're in profit, which was the next thing I'll bring up in terms of those signals, please, for the love of God, protect your profit. Don't be the person who's like, hey, I was up $1,000 in 2 hours, which most people don't make that in a week at work, just so we're on the same page. There was a particular person in the group who was up like a couple $1,000s, like in a few hours, did not protect it at all. And real money, mind you. So there's been a handful of them, but thousands of dollars in hours and you didn't protect it. That's a you issue. So anytime you're in profit, when we use the word protect a trade What that means is if we imagine this magenta line is your entry, your job here, I'm going to grab another line and I'm going to make this one a different color. So I'm going to right click on it, go to properties. I'm going to turn this to a different color just so you can actually physically see it in person. Is to literally grab your stop loss, drag and drop it into profit to where now, even if the trade reverses, which we have no control over, we don't get to decide what the market does.
Right.
But now no matter what, you made your money. And or you can double click on the trade once you're in your terminal and you can close out a portion of it. So you have multiple options. But anything above and beyond that, I do know Uncle P calls some signals. Some weeks he's traveling. He kind of travels a decent amount, kind of like myself. So he's hit and miss. The rest of them are Elvis's. And my understanding of those signals are that they're, very accurate in terms of weekly percentages, in terms of up pips. I know that understanding, managing, and comprehending them is still a learning experience for many. So my part I do is I'm just really good at coaching. I'm just really good at talking and helping, walk people through stuff. So I don't even put signals in that group. So I cannot give you any more information than that. Okay.
Okay.
Fair. Does that answer that question? I mean,
Yes.
okay.
And he's accurate. I see that it's winning, but I just don't know what he's doing, like what he's seeing. So that's why I want to ask the question. Like,
yeah, no, I wish
just,
I could help you. I don't know what he's seeing. So I'm with you. Trust me, I want to talk to Uncle P. I want to give everyone a really big loving hug and say, please, 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 can we just explain what's happening? Because there's so many people who don't know. They know it's working. They just don't know why.
right.
So, yes. Yeah.
And if this is a business, then we can't be out of the loop,
Well, no, your business in this group, just to be on the same page, is that your job, you can use those signals to make some money. So, I mean, it might be a few $100 in a few hours. It might be a few thousand, depending on your account size. So you get
Right.
the privilege of using the signals to make a little money while you're learning the skill, while you're setting up your financial plan, while you're, padding your account for your own, let's be honest, beginner mistakes. So
Right.
while you're going through this process of finding what strategy, what indicator, what time frame, what type of trader you are, and while you're going through this whole, period of, let's say, you-ness, you get to make some money along the way. So that's what the signals are for. You should not desire to be a lifelong signal taker.
Right.
You should desire to have your phone or your computer in Peru or Bora Bora, chilling in the white sand beaches and saying, cool, I got my trades in by 7 a.m. and now I'm going to go swimming and I'm going to get my tan on and I'm going to go volunteer at this organization and whatever else is your jam. Right.
Right.
So, cool.
Okay.
Sorry to
Thanks.
be so, you're welcome. I've had some people talk to me about that today. I just had to maybe put it all out there. Hopefully enough people heard it today. So, all right. So on to the next question. I have Joe Jackson, who was talking about GJ, right? Joe Jackson?
Yes, GJ.
Okay. So what system, what time frame, and what are you seeing? Tell me what you want to know.
No, basically it's your system that I'm using.
Okay.
And one thing I try to do is look at the 4 hour, the day and the 4 hour, just to get a direction. And I normally go down to the 5 minute.
Okay.
Me personally, I'm a 15-minute guy. I know Derek has said something earlier today that how he goes through his 15 minutes and to make it much simpler for him. And you always talking about how personal, when you trade, trade toward your personality. And I think 1 minute is just right now is just way too fast for me.
Well, that's what I told Derek was, hey, listen, just go to the 15 minutes, use my rules, use the strategy. I promise you it'll work. And from what I understand, it's working really well. And by the time he gets this trade manager going, he's going to be like, holy cow, he's going to give me a great big bear hug. So I'm sure of it.
I'm going to be like Oprah. You get a car, you get a car, you get a car, you get a car.
There you go. As long as I get my bear hug, he can give everybody a car. Okay. Cause that's like Coco. That's big brother of the group. He watches out for everybody. So just to be clear, I'm not going to discuss my strategy on this call. I will say we know that my strategy is trending.
Okay. I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. Let's analyze it. Let's talk about it. I know what my strategy would be telling us right now. There's no doubt in my mind. So either way, let's just analyze this from the top down. So we're on the 4 hour time frame. I'm going to go up one more because obviously we were at the bottom. That doesn't give us enough data. We definitely are kind of in seller's territory on the bigger time frames. I mean, that's a no-brainer. We have a lot of wicks. This is called vectoring. When you have 3 wicks like this, it's called vectoring. That's an indication of, in this case, it would be an indication of a continuation of the downside. If they were facing the other way, we'd be looking at the opposite, obviously. So we're going to click through the time frames, even with simplicity, and kind of get an idea of what we're seeing. We're sitting at structure and nothing's really happening. We've got quite a few wicks to the downside, and then just it's really sitting still. You've got this box as I would draw it. You guys know how I feel about MT4 drawing, but we've got this box of consolidation. So if we're going to be super smart, we're going to stay out of consolidation unless there's a lot of pips in there to make it worth the risk. Otherwise, we're just spinning our wheels, and we don't spin our wheels. We make wise decisions. So going down now to the hour and the 4 hour, now we finally get some buy signals saying, hey, there's rejection here. And there is a safe way to trade this, even with simplicity or even with, the golden strategy. But ultimately, you're still sitting at structure and you're in this zone. So if you did take a buy, you would only be doing it, from zone to zone. That's all you would be doing, because this is not like an indicator-based, rule-based entry. This is more of a, bounce or reject kind of entry. So this is not rule-based. This is not part of what we're seeing. And in order for you to take this continuation of the sell, we know it would need to break structure. So by now I'm on the 15-minute time frame, and we know we've got too much structure to the left. So I'm going to turn this and make it ugly with my pretty colors. Of course, we're getting a buy signal. We're getting tons of rejection. No brainer, right? This is a reversal-based system. The problem is we can't take these sells or even this sell until we get a nice break. And it has to be like an aggressive break. It has to be something with momentum and some oomph to it. It needs to break and retest before we get the continuation. Now, any kind of bounce, kind of a buy, your stop loss is going to be pretty tight. And so your risk to reward ratio makes it justifiable to kind of take a risk and say, hey, I'm going to take a short buy and see what happens. I'm going to take, when we get these kind of rejection pieces off of known rejection areas, that's kind of what we're seeing. And anything above and beyond that, that's it. So that might give you a little bit of feedback on that.
Okay, thank you.
You are welcome. So for my strategy, we're not taking this as a sell until we get confirmation. We would need the breakout. And we definitely can't buy it because we're below everything. We're not in buyer's territory. Right?
Right.
Okay, cool. Well, then I'm going to go on to the next question. I'm done with that sticky note. Yay. And Sarah. So Sarah asked about timing and entering a trade. So Sarah, are you there?
Yeah, I am. Yeah.
How are you?
I'm all right. Thank you.
Okay, so you said something about, now when you ask about timing and entering a trade, can you tell me first off, what system, what time zone are you trading in, and what, are you doing Forex pairs?
Yeah, I just look at 4 hour daily and the weekly, monthly, yeah. But to enter it is 1 hour, isn't it? That's why we learn in the beginning anyway, with Irving, or whatever. So yeah, I did go to 4 hours time frame. Is like an example, GBP JPY now. He say, is I take it at the buy position earlier. Because I saw on 4 hour time frame is a buy position is with strength. I think it monthly as well is a buy position. So do I have to go to the smallest time frame like 15 or half an hour? I don't know. That's the time. Normally I can see it is buy position definitely. But if I go there, it's not really blue, it's just going down minus. That's the timing, that's my problem. I live in London.
Okay, so you have the world's best time to trade. Like the cards are stacked in your favor, girl. You've got it going on, okay? You've got the most money at your fingertips during the most reasonable hours without having to walk around looking like a zombie or kind of like sacrificing your entire lifestyle. So if you're trading London, you should really avoid the London breakout, which means there's literally entire strategies based around the London breakout, knowing that it's going to shoot one direction or another. So just like avoiding opening candle, kind of same concept. You're going to win some of those when you're trading during that time frame, but you're going to lose some too. So we kind of avoid that in terms of any trend-based system, at least if you're asking me. So avoiding the London open candle, and that could be a 15-minute candle or a 30-minute candle. If you totally ignore at least that one candle, which I'm pretty sure is, I want to say it's 10 a.m. UTC time. It's 10 UTC time on here, but it changes because of daylight savings time or something. So keep that in mind there. That could change. Plus I moved across the country and I haven't done London in a while. Having said that, so if you're trading London and you want to know what time frame, so
That time, yeah.
like if you're going to be a swing trader, which means you're willing to hold your trade for overnight and up to a few days, and even up to a few weeks, you know, is possible. But in general, the average time you would hold that trade is anywhere from 1 to 3 days. Then you're going to be looking at the 4 hour and the 1 hour, and your best decision is ignore every single thing else. Because if you don't, what you're going to end up having is you're going to have one time frame say buy, one time frame say sell, one time frame say buy, one time frame say sell, one time just, you know, looks like consolidation. And then your mind and your feelings and your decision making ability is a mess. So you can't make any sound decisions if now you're confused and you're kind of struggling with that over analysis paralysis, right?
Okay.
So like if you're going to trade as an intraday trader or a swing trader, you're looking at anywhere from a few hours to a few days. You would be sticking with, you know, for the swing trades, it's 1 hour, 1 hour and 4 hour would need to be in the same direction. Or if you're looking for like the more intradays, you could do a 30-minute and 1 hour. We need to be in the same direction.
Wow.
But you don't have to find every time frame. And I assure you, the biggest problem is, especially like what we saw with the triple arrows, is when you have every single time frame telling you to buy, what that means is it is selling so hard that every single time frame agrees it should pull back, which pretty much means you would be trying to push an avalanche up a hill. And we don't want to go against momentum. We don't want to fight the market. We want to go with the market in general. So
Yeah, but you know, the London break is 9 o'clock in UK time, 9:30 or 10 o'clock. If I enter like 10 o'clock, something like that, 1 hour later or something, do you think is the best way, the best time?
do you work? Do you have a day job?
I do by myself, you know, like my own self-employed.
Okay. So like if I lived in where you live, I would probably try to trade like from 6 and don't quote me because I don't live there, but I'm pretty sure it's like between 6 a.m. and 8 a.m. your time. Okay. So like I would skip that 1 hour before London opens. Okay.
Okay. Therefore,
So
like,
that,
yeah, yeah.
oh, so even from 6 a.m. to 8:30, I would do. And then I would skip everything up and from until like 9:30 to 11. Am I getting that right? 9:30 to 11:30 a.m. because London opens at 9 a.m. London time, right? Or 8
Yeah,
a.m.
yeah.
So that 9 o'clock, the 10 o'clock UTC candle is 9 a.m. London time. Is that right? Because I don't live
Yeah,
there.
I think it's one. Yeah, like.
So if anybody's on here and knows better, please correct us.
Let me see. Let me check.
Okay. Because I don't want to be wrong and then mistell you. But essentially, I would skip that 30 minutes before London open and the 30 minutes after because there's entire strategies built around that volatility. And you don't want to be caught in one of those, I'm going to do a fake out kind of, I'm going to do a liquidity grab. I'm going to do one of these, whoops, I'm going this way. Not, just kidding. You don't want to be stuck in that. So any of those times that would give you like a nice 2-hour window, a nice healthy break and a brisk walk around the block or the park, and then a nice, you know, short window to trade some more. I would do something like that. And then I would have my entire day to go explore or go somewhere cool and not have to worry about anything.
Yeah.
Agree. If I could move the palm trees from Miami and LA to Brixton, I would move right away.
Right? Oh, that and the air quality is so bad there, but so bad. But just for a little while, Derek. I mean, just for a little while, sounds like a good idea.
Yes.
So, but if that's kind of how I would do it. But please, so to answer your question across the board, it's stop trying to make all time frames line up. It's not going to happen. And when it does happen, it's usually not in your favor. And secondly, just avoid that 30 minutes before London open and the 30 minutes, you know, before and after London open kind of thing. This way you have, you skip the volatility, the heavy volatility that is usually fake out based. It's usually like swing one direction or swing a different direction. In worst case, even if you're late, you can catch another entry. You can catch a late entry. You can catch a different entry versus getting caught in a fake entry. So that should answer your question.
Okay.
Okay, I'm going to go to Miguel real quick. So Miguel talked about patterns to look for. So I picked on him a little bit before class. Miguel, are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay.
You have to sing for us first.
Okay, that's right. I have what?
Miguel, the famous singer, right?
I wish.
I don't know, you guys, we have some famous people. We've got some famous football people. We've got some news anchors. We've got Brazilian soccer players. We've got some multimillionaires among us. Like we've got some really interesting, cool people. Y'all just don't know that they're here. I know some of them. I probably don't know all of them, but some I do. Just a few. Okay, well, Miguel, normal Miguel, who hopefully maybe can sing. We'll see. We'll test you on that later. You were asking about patterns. So patterns again are a separate entity, and nowadays they've gotten so fancy that they're so much above and beyond what Wall Street used to use and what the stockbrokers used to use, like the head and shoulders and the double bottoms and the harmonic patterns. They've become something that some guy in Alabama saw a martini glass and now has this whole look, it's a martini. That means it has to, go the other way. Like, so be careful in terms of the word pattern. In terms of this industry, it does actually have a definition already. So just so we're on the same page. But I believe your question was actually something along the lines of taking an entry. So you would want to wait for the breakout and the retest, right? So that pattern, right? Was what
Yes.
you were referencing. Okay, so same thing. The cool thing about depending on what your setting is for simplicity or for the Easy Pips scanner, it's the cool thing and the best thing is that most time you're not even going to get this until you already have the retest. So you'd already have to have the breakout and then the retest. But ultimately, the number one thing you're looking for, because this is a reversal system, is you made a lower low. If you're trying to sell, you made a higher high if you're trying to buy. I mean, so if you write that down, I know it sounds like the most ridiculously elementary thing in the planet, but you don't really know how important that is until you know how important that is. It really is that important. So you don't have no matter what any of our indicators tell us down here, you do not have a confirmed buy until you make a higher high. You do not have a confirmed sell until you make a lower low. And if I'm going to talk about a beginner's level of understanding, it doesn't get any more beginner than that, because that is literally the beginning, middle, and end of every single thing that comes after that sentence. Does that make sense?
Yes. So basically, you're just wanting to look for, like you said, the lower low, because then you're going to see that it's going to start trending down that way,
Yeah.
correct?
Well, no, and things will still go the wrong way. So take this one. This one technically made a higher high. So let's get out the crosshairs and take a look. I'll close this out and get it out of our way. So we didn't pick this pair, but we're going to use this pair. This is where we got the signals kind of late. I'm sure the settings on this are pretty late, but here's where we made a higher high. So technically you won. You had enough pips to protect even. That's 25 pips, not a bad way to be. I mean, it's a good problem to have, but you reversed. So it's no guarantee. It's just a safe way to trade. That's all. It's just a safe way to trade. So same concept. If we're not looking for that, I'm going to go to a bigger time frame so we can get a better view. We have this impulse to the downside, but we have no correction to confirm that it's not just a pullback. Because look at all these other impulses. This is impulse, but it stayed with the trend line. This is an impulse, but it stayed with the trend line, right? So what makes this impulse different than these ones, right? And the best way that you can see that and learn that is literally just trend lines and understanding how to see them and draw them. We do have some indicators that draw them for you as well. They're not perfect. No, none of them are perfect. Mine isn't perfect, as you can see. It's a hot mess. Scott loves these things, and then he tries to tell me how to do it better, but I don't like charting on MT4, so I don't use it too often. But if this is our impulse, right, we kind of come back. And we have this big move to the top side, we come back. What makes this one different is we break through the trend that's going up. We break through it and we retested that. And the more you actually just spend a day not trading, so skip, winning or losing money for today, and say, all I'm going to do is draw trend lines. I'm going to draw them for like 2 hours, legit. No matter how bored I get, I'm going to get some coffee and I'm going to just draw trend lines. You'll see that what happens is most of the time, like 90 some odd % of the time, you'll get a breakout and a retest before you get the continuation. And this retest of that trend line is everything. So not only did we retest the trend line, we also retested structure. So there's structure, price stopped. So what happened? We broke below a zone. We came back up into the zone, retested it, and dropped. Do you see that kind of hot area? I think Pat would call that a hot zone. Do you see that? That's why you get like this super confirmed move. And that actually doesn't happen when you get the alert. It happens over here.
So you still got your Super Bowl label up, huh?
I had that before the Super Bowl, just so you know. ask what's his Jamie. Seriously, I've called it J-Lo forever.
Whatever.
Let me tell you, if I can look half as good at her when I'm 50, I'll be good. I'll be good. So,
Hey, Janie, one question on that right there. I know you're on the GJ pair, but does the same strategy of what you were saying work for the indice pairs as well?
Yeah, indices are a little bit more choppy, but in theory, yes. So across stocks, across indices, across futures, across Forex, people use it in binary options, across most platforms. That is a general, remember, we're not going off of fundamentals. All you're going off of is structure. And you're going off of either A, the value of a number. So think about what technical analysis is. It's a value of a number, which means those are the people who go off of the Fibonacci, they go off of quarters theory, they go off of harmonics and like percentages and numbers of percentages of gained measured moves. It's all a numbers thing, right? Or there's a people who also go off of structure. So big candle means big story, little candle means little story, wicks equal rejection. Let me think, there's so many theories, I couldn't begin to name them all, but these are all just technical analysis, things that help you become technically proficient at trading. But it all is like this big basket of information, and it all has a value, but how much value it has today in this market at this time, at that time frame, on that pair, in these conditions, that's what the variables are. And then of course you have all these variables, most of the variables are yourself, and I mean that very lovingly. You are the variable in this equation. This stuff is not. You are the variable.
Okay, one more quick question. Now, like I said, I like to make my when I'm analyzing a pair, what's the best time frame like you're doing right now on the hour? And then I normally go down to the 15-minute and I see something, or I go down to the 5 and sometimes I pull my trigger at the 5 once I see it on the 15. Is the hour a good time frame to analyze a pair right here, or is it a 4 hour or a daily?
It depends. So like if you're with me on Tuesdays and Thursdays, we don't really need to know what's happening on the hour because we're on the 5 minute. We don't need to know what's happening on the 4 hour because we're on the 5 or 15 minute, right? We don't really need to know what's going on really anywhere except for in and around where we're at. Now, when I analyze a pair, for those of you guys who are inside of the other group, where is that at? Silly me. There we go. My chart looks something like this. Okay, right? It's just, we're analyzing it without the strategy. We're getting an idea. Now, the only way I'm going to pop up to these massively big time frames is if we're at the highest highs, which, as you know, happened with NASDAQ and it happened with, Dow Jones. It happened with those. But if we're not at some all-time level, I don't really care what's happening on the 4 hour. I care where price is right now. So like right now, we've got this kind of, double bottom crown / possible head and shoulders formation, right? Where we need to break this trend line and then we'd have a measured move. Not that we would trade this pair that way, but just I would get a good picture of what this is doing. And then from there, I'm going to go down to the 1 hour. I'm going to see that we're kind of sitting in this wedge formation, right? That's a triangle formation. We need to wait for a breakout before we take any, concrete moves. I'm going to go to the 15-minute time frame and say, well, man, that's tightening up. We definitely have some upward potential. It's not enough to take a trade. We'd still have to wait for a breakout. Let's take a look. Not enough for me personally. We break out past that and I'm taking it to the moon. Well, I guess that's to the ground or something, but same thing to me. Same thing. Big move possible.
Highway.
Big move.
Highway to hell.
Huh? Frankie, was that you? Who said that? Oh, the highway to hell.
The highway to hell.
Oh, gotcha. Okay. So taking it to the highway to hell. Okay. I don't know how I feel about that because I don't want to go there. Like I want to stay as far away from there as possible. I want to stay on the good flowery side of things. But either way, we're taking it down low, 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 low. Okay. That's the idea. You're halfway there. I got that message, by the way. But anyways, that's how I'm going to analyze it. It depends on what kind of trader you are. If you're a swing trader, you probably should be looking at the bigger time frames, such as the 1 hour, 4 hour, and daily. If you're intraday, you should be looking at the 15, 30 an hour. If you're scalping, you should be looking at the time frames if you were above and below of where you're looking to enter your trade at. Gotcha.
Gotcha. Thank you.
Yes, sir. You are welcome. Okay, so last question that I had written down, at least in this group, was John said best pairs to trade during London. I'm pretty sure that was it, right? John, are you there?
Yes, I'm here. Yes, please. Yeah.
Okay, so you
That's
live
right.
in London. Do you have a day job?
Yes, I do have a day job. Yes, please. Yeah.
Okay, so that means you want to trade before London opens or during London, or you have time to like sneak away at work, or what's your deal?
Basically, I'm like self-employed, so I can probably drop in anytime. So it's not really that I'm permanently like a 9 to 5 or something. Not really.
Okay. Well, then
Yeah.
I'm going to go with Rich's answer because Rich is like one of my favorite Italian people on the Upper East Coast. Well, he's kind of, he's not bad. Basically, he's up in here messing in the chat, but I'm going to say all of them, literally pretty much all of them, because you have the most money and the most volatility out of anybody. So same thing I told Sarah, like the cards are stacked in your favor. And if the sooner you recognize that and then learn to capitalize on that, you'll be golden, because every pair is going to move to a certain extent. Every pair.
Yeah, every pair. Okay.
So, if I were you, I'd pick a couple and try to ignore the rest, because it's very overwhelming looking at 38 different things and then wondering, oh my goodness, oh man, I missed this one and this one and this one and this one. Like I would definitely stay away and just pick a couple that you like the way they move or you comprehend how they function and stick with those. Like, so anywhere from 3 to maybe at the max 7. And until you have 50 trades on those 7, don't even look at any other pair. So I don't care if anybody but a burning bush does it. Nobody it doesn't matter. Everybody, everything else you ignore and you focus on those 6 or 7 pairs that you see. You can still take signals and do your own thing, but yeah.
Okay. Thank you so much. Yeah,
You're
surely. Yeah.
You are welcome. Just avoid Brexit. I mean, I don't know what's going on with that. That's a mess.
Yeah, it's a mess, a little bit crazy, but yeah. So, well, it's let's see how it goes.
Jenny?
We have our fun in the U.S. too, so don't worry.
I know. Derek Derek, are you a patriot?
Hey, I'm a veteran. I'm a veteran. You know.
So you definitely are a patriot, at least to some extent. Okay,
yes,
I can go with that. Deal.
What about this time of trading? Like, what pairs would be like really great pairs to look at around this time? Like around
I don't. And I've been working on that a lot, Frankie. So I've got this up. I don't think this one is scanning. It's not giving me any pairs. I even turned on the hold on, I'll show you live. Let's see. I'll have to go back and do it again. So right click, go to experts. So Donna sent me this code for this demo account so I could do this live, and it's working okay on my other accounts, but now I'm trying to get it to work to where I can just go live randomly on YouTube, help with the group and everything else. And of course, use the trade manager and use this. So what's popping off at this time? As you can see, we're getting no alerts. Nothing is popping off. Nothing is happening.
I asked because my wife wants to get into trading, but her schedule's not like mine, and her greatest time is like now, and she can't even if she want to get on a demo, nothing moves.
Well, you guys are in the East Coast time, right?
Yes.
Okay, so even if she got in the demo, don't be a negative Nelly. You got options. So number one, you can trade the day chart, okay? And the day chart trading at 1%, 1 to 3% is not like, she would have the least amount of stress possible, which is not a bad way to be. So never more than 1 to 3%, especially with everything going on in our world. But when you have confluence on the day chart, take it, and your job is to either hold it or go for your, ADR, or go for your whatever your target is. And I can help you guys kind of come up with rules in terms of for your wife. I'm all for that, more than you know. But either way, you have the day chart. She can also, I would probably veer away from the 4 hour right now with London and everything being so, the Forex pairs are really volatile. And then if she wanted to scalp something, she could totally scalp NAS. She could scalp NAS or gold or US 30 at this time. She just can't trade German 30 at this time because German 30, the spread is way too wide. Well, let's see what it is right now. Are you guys on Hugo's way?
Yes.
Okay, then you're doing the right thing. Good job. The spread on Hugo's way right now on German 30 is only 40, but like early, right when Asian opens, it's like almost 70, 80. That's a lot. I mean, it's too steep. The price is too high to make it advantageous. So she can technically get a few pips if she's on the 1 minute on US 30 or NAS. Like now, let's see, it's almost 9 o'clock. So she would have like an hour and a half ish window picking the right pairs, but trying to get a lot of pips out of any JPY pairs or Asian pairs isn't going to happen because you'd have to cover the spread, which is higher during this time. And you'd have to get some pips, which move slower and don't give enough. So not so much, not so
All
much
right.
at all. But she can do it. So go to the daytime frame. Use either that or use
Yeah, I don't know. I've never traded the day before, so most anything I've been doing for the last 8 months is just trying to scalp and learn your strategy. So when I try to teach her, I don't want to ever try to teach her something that I ain't never do.
We'll have her come and hang out. So she's more than welcome. I'll work with her.
Okay.
So I'm all about that. Just as if I can help, I'll help. But she can totally do that, the day time frame. She just has to be proficient in basic terminology. Like that's all I would need. Because I don't even know that I'm saying something that isn't, incomprehensible when I'm like, hey, protect your profits. And Scott's like, not everyone knows what that means. Like that was just like this eye-opening moment for me to realize, whoa, okay.
One thing I've noticed, because before I came into your class, I've been a few places before, but the one thing I learned is that if you're like a fresh learner, like to stick to one thing. So it's like I try to teach exactly what I understand, but I try not to overwhelm her with other things. Because once you teach her something else, she looks at something else and she looks at that and she's looking at this and she's looking at that. So
Information overload. Yeah, that'll do it.
So do you mind if one day she uses my account and come in the morning or something if she has the time?
Wait. Just let Donna know that you can add her to the We the People group, and that's cleared with me. Number one. Number two, have her complete the babypips.com course. It's free. It costs nothing. Like, so instead of your voice being in her ear, and I'm sure it's an amazing voice, let her start with some fundamental knowledge of just 1, 2, 3 equals Z, let her start with that and then have her come, because she's going to come. I mean, she can come tomorrow on Thursday if you want. That's totally fine. So you can add her to the group and she can post screenshots. She can chat, hang out, ask questions, get to know everybody. That's totally cool with me. So
okay,
just maybe have her complete the beginner's course of babypips.com to where she's not like super like out of her mind lost,
All right.
Fair enough.
Thank you.
You are welcome, Frankie. Okay, now that I've done all that talking and answered all those questions, I've got 2 questions. So Adele, come out. Are you there? We don't raise hands. We're not all that formal in this group. We just hang out. It says Adela's phone. I'm gonna unlower your hand. Oh, she disappeared now. So, okay. Well, if that person is not stepping up, hey, Rich, how's it going? I know you got an itch. How are you doing? And if he doesn't unmute himself, I'm totally coming up there. I'm coming to go get him. I know he's not cooking anything.
What's going on? How you guys doing?
Hey, how are you?
All right. Not too bad. Yeah, I just wanted to apologize. I know I've been promising like for weeks that I'd be, covering a couple things, just really easy things. But I just, I there was a couple of things that I had to do personally, and then of course I kept seeing on the main chat that there was a lot of chatter about errors with the scanner and people having a lot of issues with it. So I figured, all right, let me step back and let everything situate, and then I would come back and do this this little quick tutorial. But yeah, everything's cool. How are you doing?
I'm doing good. So how about this, Rich? I switched it to every other Tuesday, but if you're gonna be and come hang out with us, then we can do it. Well, let's do it. And so 2 Tuesdays from now, and I will call it Rich Day, and then you can have all your stuff ready that you wanted to share. But yeah, so wait, I'm gonna put that on my desk, and then just message me because I've got thousands of other messages. So I'm gonna say, Rich. Anybody know what that Tuesday is? Let's see, Tuesday. 14 days from now is the 29th.
Let me double check that.
20-ish, 29th.
Yes.
All right,
Yeah.
so you're on my schedule. There you go. And then I'm totally coming to you. So I'm holding you to it, and there's lots of other people who are going to hold you to it. So,
Oh yeah,
but
no.
All right, awesome. Well, just so you guys know, yeah, there was, as we had to get the license code out for hundreds and hundreds of people, and then all the different people who don't know left from right, and then there's valid, concerns, and then there's, user errors, and kind of trying to discern and work through all of them was definitely a few weeks worth of mania for the admin team. So fortunately, that's mostly done. They've got everything kind of where it should be, I believe, and we're ready to go to the next step. So that scanner is actually pretty good. If you haven't used it yet, Rich, I'm kind of liking it. Not so much right here on this, but with the good trade manager, if I can just automate it, oh, we'd be into something. We'll see. So we'll see.
I'm kind of old school. That's like a lot for me. I'm very old school. So yeah, I'd rather just get up in the morning, get up for London and start scanning, and then jump into trades once London has calmed herself down.
True. But that's a great time to trade. I'm not getting up. I'm not going with no sleep, so it's not happening.
I'll get plenty of sleep. You know what it is? I do. Luckily for the East Coast, that's 3 a.m. So I usually go to bed around 10, and then I'm up at 3 a.m. and I'm good for the rest of the day. I don't even have to go back to sleep. I'm good with 6 hours.
Well, you're a rock star. I can never fall asleep at 10, and I'm definitely not getting up at 3. Not every day. Like, I can do it. I just can't do it consistently and be a walking, talking, functioning human being.
Yeah, I tried it. It drove me crazy because I wanted to be up at 3 o'clock, and I wanted to be up at 9 o'clock.
That's the
Right.
problem. That's what I did.
It drove me crazy.
But the basic reason of why I do it is because whatever trend you get in London, New York is the reversal of that particular trend. So that's why I catch incredible trades that way. I actually have an account that I just opened from one of the. That's one of the things we'll discuss when we get on. I have an account from an actual funder. You don't even have to use your own money, guys. I've got 3 accounts now. I just opened one today, which is a $10,000 funded account that I need to make $1,000 for, and I'm already up more than $400 just today, this morning. So, I mean, once I think tomorrow I should reach the other 500 with the London open close and New York open close, and then I got another $10,000 in my pocket. So it's like. And that's the thing we're gonna discuss later on. I'll kind of I got a nice little presentation. It's not too long. It's short.
Hey, Rich, I'm gonna interject. You know that Pat will have my head on a platter with pretty flowers all around it. You can't do anything that's cross recruiting or cross promoting anything else because that's in conflict of interest with Super EZ. Number one, and number two, everything you talk about, that's totally fine, and I will definitely be your advocate and your supporter. But I don't super recommend people trading with other people's money because oftentimes, A, when you mess up, you got to pay it back or pay percentage of it back. And because B, if these people don't have if they've never withdrawn their own money, they probably shouldn't be blowing other people's money just yet. So I would probably steer away from anything that teaches them to do crowdfunding of any kind or business funding of any kind.
Yeah, this is only for so this is the way it works. You have to be able to double a demo account. That's how I did it. Once I had a $3,000 demo account, and then a $10,000 demo account, and then a $100,000 demo account. If you're able to double it, then you know your strategy works, and you can go ahead and proceed. And yeah, I won't mention any names. There's unfortunately I can't I don't get anything for advertising for them, so I'm not gonna do that either. You know what I mean? Yeah. So, but yeah, it's for those of you who have very small accounts, it's very difficult, to get that to grow really quick, unless your strategy is solid. Once you're doing 80% win rate and whatnot, then okay. You know, even with a small account, it's going to take some time. I mean, I have my own small account as well, but like these things, they're out there, and they won't even let you go forward unless you can prove that you can pass it. You know what I mean? So like I've actually taken 3 already, and I've passed all of them. Like they're like, wow, like I passed one. The last one I passed was for 300,000, and I passed it in a week. And they were like, holy, I'm sorry, no, 2 weeks. I'm not gonna lie, 2 weeks, not a week. This one today is the fastest one I've done. I got it yesterday, and I'm gonna pass it by tomorrow. So but it's only a $10,000 account. So it's like kind of like, once your strategy is good and you're catching trades like that, literally you're running with the trend, and then you're good. Like that, like they won't let you just take the money. You know what I mean? That's not how it works. Like you can't just go there and say, hey, yeah, give me $300,000. I mean, they're not gonna do that. But it works.
Scott and I have discussed and/or work with several companies like that. There's quite a few. Some of them are pretty good, but at the end of the day, every single one of them, there's pluses and minuses. There are perks. There are definitely perks.
Yeah.
Especially if you don't have a lot of money to play with. But the downsides, in many people's cases, outweigh them. So I know that the tests you have to do to prove yourself, I already know all that. And in my case, I wouldn't even have to take those tests. I just show my FX books and we're good. So I get it. I'm very familiar with those, but just we'll talk. Just call me on Telegram. So
cool. Yeah, because that's one of the biggest things I'm gonna go through when we meet again. It's gonna be risk management. I see a lot of craziness.
There you go. Discuss risk management. So discuss risk management and structure and that sort of thing. But maybe veer away from the crowdfunding and the because that's just these people are hungry. They're hungry. They're thirsty. They're gonna just
I hear you.
I'm just telling you.
Yeah.
I'm hungry.
Right? They're hungry. There's no other way to say it. So, all right, real quick, I'm going to answer these other couple of questions. But Rich, we've missed you, and I look forward to hearing from you. I've got your name on my desk. I did. Oh, there it is, the 29th, I think, ish. But I've got your name, so and that'll work. And I super appreciate you. But real quick, so Keith said, "How do I get the ADR indicator?" It is in the both chats. That one is actually in the Super Easy group. Also, Wesley, your dinner sounds amazing. You should totally send a picture because that sounds yummy. And let's see, the ADR indicator again. And then I'm going to go down. So, hey, Jenny, on the simplicity indicator, which time frame does the red and green dots represent? Can you explain? Oh, this simplicity secured. It should be programmed as the next higher. So it's not the current. It's not the current. It's the next higher. So that's how it's programmed. This is the next higher time frame, like dots, and you can test that for yourself to see if that's the case or not. Okay, so go drag and drop your super easy dots and put it at a certain time frame and see if it lines up. Drag and drop the super easy dots and put it at a different time frame, see if it lines up, and then you can verify that for yourself too, just to be certain and clear, because that's the best way to do it. So, gotcha. All right, any other questions or comments that you guys need help with today? Because that's what we're here for. Anybody at all? All right.
Hey Jenny, it's Miguel again.
Who is that? Yeah. Who is that? Go ahead, I'm here.
Sorry, my connection's a little bad right now. I was trying to see, as far as take profit, is there a way to like set it to where it'll take the profit and continue to go? Because lately it's just been taking profit and then closing out my trade.
Can you ask your question again?
As far as taking profit, like if I'm in a trade, I set my take profit, but like if I wanted to get a profit off of it, but allow it to continue to go.
So to trim profit.
Yes.
Yes. So this is a demo account. Hold on, let's go here. It's got 13,000 in it. It's just a demo account. So I can't show you that because my VPS isn't allowing me to go that high. So let's do this. Let's go to I'm going to do a 0.5. Okay. So where it looks like we're pushing down, that would go with the trending. Would definitely make sense. Whatever. I'm going to buy, bouncing off that rejection. It's going to go down first. So let's say I'm in this trade and I want to reduce my risk because there's news coming out, but I still trust the trade. Let's say we're in a trade and I want to reduce, I'm in profit by X amount of pips. I want to protect my profit and whatever. So literally if I double click down here, and it's much easier to do from your phone, but just double click, I can press 2.25 and it will close half of that position. See? So half of it's now closed. Did you see
So
that?
now with half of it being closed, the rest of it continues to go.
Yep, the rest of it continues to grow. So like I pressed buy on this, knowing that that's a counter trend trade. This is trending down.
Mhm.
So I pressed buy, hoping it would just go into profit a little bit. Let's say I want my take profit. I don't want to get out here. Let's say I'm really hoping to milk it for more of the move, and that's kind of my goal. Let's say that this price kind of comes up halfway. I can close half of the position, drag and drop my stop loss into profit, and let the rest of it run. So like right now we're in profit, right? I mean, not really a whole bunch that I can, let's go to a smaller time frame. Maybe it'll have some room. Double click. I have a baby amount of room. So let's say I want to drag my stop loss down. That's my stop loss. I'm going to put it into profit. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So now, even if this reverses, I'm going to be in profit. This might knock me out actually anyways, because it's AFX and it's got a huge spread. So I'm going to protect a little bit less so I have time to actually show you what I'm trying to show you. But now I'm protected. So even if the price totally reverses and the market goes crazy, or there's some big, Australian news like last night, I'm gonna, no matter what, I get profit. No matter what, I don't get negative. And let's say this keeps going up and I want to close some of it, just double click down here, or it's easier to do from your phone. And I want to close half of that, give or take. So I'm going to close 0.13. There we go. I've closed a little bit of it, and now I'm going to let the rest of it run. All right.
Okay.
That's how you protect your profits.
Okay, awesome.
And then you can keep doing that. Like, so as the candles, go on, you can keep kind of dragging and dropping your stop loss up, moving your take profit a little further. You've got tons of ways to manage it. The thing is, you have to manage it consistently through all the different ways.
Right.
Like one way for all the trades you're taking.
Okay.
Makes sense?
Jenny, is that it work for a phone as well? The system to protect the profit.
I'm sorry?
I can use it, but the phone as well to protect my profit a little bit.
Yeah, you can use it on signals. Please use that on signals. You can use that on your scalping. You can use it on Forex or indices. You can use it on your swing trades also. Once you're in profit.
Yeah.
Just you can close some of it. So let's say you're up 30, 40 pips or 50, 60 pips on a Forex pair. That's not bad. That's really good. So 50, 60 pips on a standard lot, you're looking at hundreds of dollars, right? You can close out 200 or 300. Now you're good. You can decide that if you're the kind of trader that says, hey, I don't mind if it hits my stop loss altogether because I've got my percentage out of it. And then
how do I do the phone? I can understand with the computer or laptop, but at the phone I couldn't really manage to get it to protect my profit, not to take off, like not really to or take the profit. But if I leave it, but probably if it's like 20 pips, it give me 20 pips, he go 20 pips, and then I don't know how to explain to them. Oh,
it's okay. So on your phone, you're going to click modify trade.
Yeah.
And then you can change the lot size, and then you hit.
No,
no, wait, on your phone, you're going to hit close trade, and then you'll get to choose how much percentage you want to close on it, and then close it. I'm sorry.
Okay.
So you'd have to actually click
No,
close
to protect,
trade.
like example, I'm expecting 50 pips, but if he pass to 20, I can't take the 20, and then if I get the rest, yeah, fair enough. If it's not, you're going to be get off. Now I can protect my 20 pips. That's why I need to keep it.
I don't think I understand your question.
Okay. Like example, I'm expecting like 50 pips, yeah, from my computer.
So if your take profit is 50 pips, okay.
Yeah, I'm expecting 50 pips, but when I reach 20 pips, I need to protect that 20 pips and then I continue the rest. If he's not going up until 50, that's fair enough. But if he's not, I don't want it to go back down.
Yes.
Yeah, that's why I need to protect my profit.
Yeah. And it doesn't have to be exactly 20 or exactly 50. Like the whole concept is just protect some money. So
Yeah.
let's keep this very simple. When you're up hundreds or thousands of dollars, protect
Yeah.
some money. I don't care
Yeah.
how you do it, just do it. So you can use a trailing stop by right clicking, hit trailing stop. Remember, this is in points.
The computer, yeah, but in the phone. I know I done it in the laptop.
Yeah, you can't do the trailing stop from the phone, but you can do that from the laptop. So I can decide, hey, I want this to trail by 15 pips,
15,
which means
yeah.
150 points.
Yeah.
That's not a lot on GBP USD. It's not giving it much room. So if I'm swinging, I'm probably going to want this to trail by like 30 pips. I always add a 0 for points. Hit okay. Well, it doesn't matter now. I'm out anyways because I moved it into profit. So now that I'm out, I can't really even show you. But that's one way. Another way is to literally close a portion of it. So if I took a standard lot, or once you guys trade bigger lots, I'm hoping to see some of you guys with like 15 standard lots. Okay. With 15 standard lots on some of these trades, if anybody can do the math in public, which I joke about not doing, 15 standard lots on 30 pips is a lot of money. Like it's a lot of money. So you can close 7 of those standard lots, protect a little bit of it, and I promise you, you won't care. So it's $150 per pip, okay?
Yeah.
Like you won't care what happened. I promise you. You won't care if you got a baby amount. Once you guys actually have the skill set and the know-how to use bigger lot sizes, I assure you, you cashed out with $15,000. You're not going to care that you got knocked out here. You're not going to care about any of that because you're like, huh, I just made $15,000. I'm pretty good. I'm good.
You know, if he is a 4 hour time frame, it's a buy position, and I have to go to the 15-minute, like the same position. I can see it's the same direction. Is that if I go to probably 10, 15 pips, you think you're gonna be okay?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. Well, yes, I think for most pairs, 10 to 15 pips is more than easily gotten on the 15-minute time. The GBPs move a little bit more than some of the other pairs. Yeah, than other pairs, but I mean, you should be able to easily get your 10 to 15 pips.
Yeah. Okay. GBP a little bit is very fast.
Well, it's very fast for a Forex pair, but it moves like a snail compared to an indice. So there's that. I mean, it's all in perspective, though. Like everything else in our world, you don't know what you don't know until you didn't, you know.
Yeah.
As we grow, that's kind of what it comes down to. So.
Yeah. Okay.
Thank you, Rich, for doing the math for me. Thank you, Sarah.
Thank you, honey. Thank you very much. You are so sweet, though.
Yes. No, thank you. All right. Awesome. Well, in that case, guys, I am going to go ahead. Wendy, did you have a question? I see you keep unmuting yourself. I'm observant like that sometimes. Not really. Only sometimes do I have my chat box up. I happen to have it up today. Are you there?
No, I did not.
Okay. I'm just picking on you. You're good. Because Donna's not here to double check it and manage everybody. So I'm kind of managing them. That's why. So, but all right, guys. Hey, in that case, that's enough for tonight. I hope that some of this information helped you. I hope that you guys got your question answered. I definitely recommend that you guys come to these beginner classes with either Pat or myself. And if you have questions in between now and our next session, that is a beginner session, have a little ongoing list on your desk. I don't care if it's something like super small, such as, here, let me mute Sarah and mute Wendy. There we go. Such as like how to use something on MT4 or charting or structure. I don't care how big or small it is, but I'm here and I'm using my time to kind of be there for you. So please do step out. If you have entries you want to go over, I'm the person to ask because I will definitely, help you work through those decisions. I promise you. Other than
Jenny?
that, yes, sir.
What do we need to do to actually get in your class and learn your strategy?
That's the advanced membership group. I believe it's step 3 on the website. But it gives you signals with Elvis and Uncle P, and then several classes and strategies and indicators and managers with me. So there's a lot of content. Scott and I get a whole bunch of love for how well we work together. Constant compliments, because our brains just kind of they really bounce off of each other very well. So there's tons of information. I'm talking every topic that you didn't know was a topic is in those recorded sessions, like every topic that you can imagine. And it just kind of flows pretty chill, pretty free flowing. So.
Okay, thank you, Jenny.
You are welcome, James. All right, guys, we'll have a fantastic night. I hope you guys do some amazing trades. Take care and God bless. Thank you.
Thank you, Jenny.
Thank you, Jenny.
Thank you, Jenny.
Thank you, Jenny.
Thank you all.
Thank you.